Thank you. That was very nice.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Well deserved.
You have to lead by example,
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's not about making money, it's just helping them. But in the long run, remember, when the time gets ready, they're going to call you or refer you to other people.
All right, welcome, good family. We are live and direct today with our podcast, Industry Leaders of Real Estate. And today I am in the presence of greatness. I am here, absolutely. I am here with the Marty Rodriguez.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that nice introduction.
Absolutely, yeah. There's more niceness to come. So for those of you that are joining this podcast, the intention of this podcast has been to bring the legendary, the most prominent leaders in real estate into a conversation about real estate, their success stories, what they've been able to dial into over the course of the career that has changed the landscape of what we're doing in the real estate market. So thank you so much, Marty, for everything that you bring to the table today, the conversation, the enlightenment, the wisdom. On behalf of our audience, we just want to say thank you so much.
And thank you for having me here today. And I'm excited to share and just be here with you. Joseph, I told you the first day I met Joseph, I was so impressed with him. He's a military guy, reminds me of my dad. The way he does everything and, precise, definitely disciplined. And, I love that about you.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. This is all love here, guys. Like we're just bringing full love. So Marty, I want to kick this one off a little bit different instead of diving right into the questions. Like, I think it would be awesome. Like, we know of Marty, like so many of us that have been in the industry, but admittedly, not many of us have had an opportunity to like run with you or collaborate with you or learn from you. So your wisdom today is going to be resounding. But before that, I think it'd be cool to get to know Marty a little bit deeper, So I got a couple rapid fire questions that I want to shoot at you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You're not expecting this. This wasn't pre-planned, guys.
Okay.
So, okay. On behalf of the entire Latino audience out here in Los Angeles, right? So for those of you that don't know, Marty's a native of El Monte out here in Los Angeles, and we are in Southern California at this very moment, where Marty has literally changed the landscape of our entire industry. So,
and I'm one of 11 kids raised in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. So I wasn't born with the silver spoon, but I was born with the Mexican spoon, the chancla, and the belt.
Yes.
And, that's how it was in those days. And you know what? Every day I thank God because it all worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, in true chancla fashion, one of the questions I was going to ironically ask you was, why don't you tell us what your favorite taco spot is?
Oh, my favorite taco spot. Oh, my gosh. Well, my family, my husband, when I met him, they owned the El Sombrero restaurant in Monte. Okay. And my nieces own that place today. So, we go there, for tacos, and then a couple local places out this direction that, we go to. But
I love that.
Yeah. I still miss my mom's rice and beans because, we grew up with homemade flour tortillas and rice and beans every day. And once in a while we got ground beef with potatoes, so I have all those, great memories. And our friends would want to come over and they'd like, we want to go eat at your house because they wanted my mom's homemade tortillas and rice and beans.
Yeah. Yeah. The good stuff.
The good stuff.
Good stuff. Okay. Share with us. Being from El Monte, you have to be a fan of old school music, oldies. What's your favorite oldie?
Oh my gosh. There's so many like Mexican songs because my cousin Richard used to have a band. So, they play all the Mexican music and,
right.
They would have the parties and then, and I remember like putting the pork in the pig in the ground. And we had some great times. So what I mean, or Perfidia.
What I mean. Yes.
Perfidia. Those are my two favorite Mexican songs.
I mean, we'll put you in some tears.
Yeah.
Sure, right?
Yeah. So, we spoke Spanish growing up, until we went to school. And actually, believe it or not, we went to Catholic school for 12 years, all 11 of us. My mom and dad had 11 kids in 15 years. And I don't know how we did it, but we did it. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was a barber. But then we all, did odd jobs. We cleaned houses. We sold tamales. We shelled walnuts. We did so many different things, just to make the extra money and make ends meet. But you know what? When there's a will, there's a way. It's like, how did we do all that? But we did it,
And I'm curious, like with that foundation in your upbringing, like how old were you when you first got your hustle on?
You know what? And in high school, so when I went to high school, I worked on the neighborhood youth corps program. So I was the secretary to Father Dorsey. I worked at Roscoe's Five and Dime downtown El Monte, and I was a cheerleader, and I got good grades. I'm thinking, how did we do all that? And we didn't even have a car, so we had to find a way to school. And sometimes we have to walk from El Monte to La Puente. You know, that was a long that was a long walk. So and you think, how did we do that? And it was so normal because you didn't know anything different. Okay. So you just do what you have to do. And like I said, wait, rice and beans. And we thought that was like the best food because you don't know anything else. You can't miss what you never had. But once you have it, you ain't going back.
No, you won't go back at all.
Exactly.
At all. Yeah. And that upbringing, do you attribute that to the woman that you are today?
Oh, absolutely. Because we just learned about hard work. And even, when I went to school, I played sports. I remember in grammar school, we didn't play volleyball. We played killer volleyball. I remember you could play tetherball at lunch and you could keep playing until you lost. And I had it mastered. I would play all during lunch and all the little girls would be going, get her out, and I'm thinking, and then when I started in real estate and started to become successful, I could still hear those other women going, get her out, get her out. Oh, yeah. So, and I was telling you about, I really admire Caitlin Clark, and people, she's like so awesome and so amazing. I'm like obsessed with her too, just watching her and overcome all of these people have, say negative things about this incredible woman who has changed the face of the WNBA. And I know that I changed a lot of things about real estate in my corner of the world,
Right. Is that the reflection that you see in her and you're like, wow, I did this in real estate that is kind of parallel and mirrors what she's doing in basketball?
Yeah, in a way. And that's why I probably admire her even more, Yeah. And it's like, I laugh because LeBron James is a fan of hers and she did really, really good on the game 2 games ago. And he posted on X, he goes, Caitlin Clark, hi haters. It was awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, the people that work hard, that set the standard, don't put them down. Look up to them. See what they're doing right. Because, a lot of times people, would criticize the way I did my business because I'm very, like you, very organized, systemized, and you expect things to be done the right way. Don't half-ass an offer. Don't half-ass anything because that is a reflection of the kind of person that I'm going to perceive you to be. So, let's set the standard. Let's set it right for everybody. And let's all do it together so that people see us as an industry of professionals and not of, fly-by part-timers. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, clearly your brand and your professionalism stands apart. Like 46 years in the industry, right?
46 years, yes.
Wow. 46 years, guys, in the industry. Yeah. And crushing it now more than ever.
Well, you know what? I'm still working as hard as I've always worked. Yeah. And because it's not as easy today as, well, actually, you know what? When I started, there were no computers. It wasn't easy at all. A lot of you have not experienced what it was like to have to go door to door, to meet people face to face. You are so lucky now. For me, it would take me all day to do a market analysis. You do a market analysis in 5 minutes. You can reach more people in a minute than I could probably reach all day long.
Right.
So you've got to think about the advantages that you have. I have a nephew that's starting real estate now. And I said, oh my God, you are so lucky because you don't know anything else about real estate other than this is the new way with the new buyer agreement. So you're only going to learn it one way. And you don't need to know what happened in the past. It's only what's happening today and in the future. So, and that's how we all have to look at our business. And even us old timers, forget what we used to do. Forget how it used to be. It's like, what are you doing today? And what are you doing tomorrow? That's what we have to look at.
Yeah. I mean, clearly you found ways over 46 years to pivot, rebrand, and just stay like top of mind, right?
And I've been through the ups and downs, when interest rates were 18, 19, 20%. And what was really amazing, I just realized in 1978, when I started real estate, I'm looking at the interest rates and they were like 9.8 or 9.9%. I don't remember that when I started. All I remember when I started was I needed to sell houses.
Right.
That's all I could think about. And it's funny when I think about it now, wow, they were that high. And I can remember when they were at 12%. And then, well, actually not really so much 12%. I remember 18, 19, 20% because that's when I really got affected. And we had to do what's called graduated payment programs. the banks came up with this program in order for buyers to buy. And you know what? It was the buyers who bought those properties with those programs who made out, because as soon as rates came down, their prices went up.
Yeah.
So you know what? It's always a good time to buy real estate. So don't wait, because if you buy it today, remember, when I started in 1978, the first house I sold was $42,500.
Wow.
And I remember my husband had to clean it up because I couldn't even get a loan on it, and we represented the buyer. So here you are. So what happens? Interest rates go like this, but real estate just goes like this. Even if it takes a little dip, it continues to climb, because in 1989, I started in 78, 89, the market peaked and it went down to 1997. Okay, 1997, it came back up to 2007, propelled by stated income loans, which set us up for failure. So all these people who lost their houses, we took a nosedive to 2012, 13.
Right.
Okay, and look at all these numbers. The market shifted about every 8, 9, 10 years. But what's different today, you had a shift in 2012 where it went to its bottom. But guess what? You're beyond the 10 years, because now we're 2024.
Right.
So we've gone beyond that 10-year mark. And I don't see it coming down at this point. So if you can buy a house and you can afford it now, or you need to get together maybe with family members, just buy real estate if you can, whatever you can do to get in. I think it's so important, because I'm a poor little girl from El Monte, and the money we've made is not just from working every day, it's from investing in real estate, buying properties. I was telling you, I bought a house in Newport Beach. I sold 3 properties. I 1031 to buy one house for $725 in the year 2000. Today it's worth $3.5 million. You see, you can't save that fast.
Yeah.
One of my houses I bought 89 in San Dimas for 125. It's worth probably almost $1 million. So do you see, your savings grows. Just make the investment, get in, do whatever it takes to buy real estate.
Yeah, that's the wisest advice.
Because interest rates will come and go. And, when they come down, then you can do the refi. As long as you can afford it, buy it.
I know that you're so passionate about education. Like, you could feel it, like when you speak, Marty, you're like, this, but the beautiful thing about it is that you're just constantly sharing it, right? I was reading your reviews on Google, right? I do my thing, right? Like this is my craft. So I was reading your reviews on Google, and I was like, family after family after several hundred reviews of a theme. And the theme is that you care, that you're looking out for them, that you got their back. So that speaks profoundly about the human being that you are.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was very nice.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Well deserved. You've been putting in the work, and you lead us to be able to follow your leadership.
And we have to lead by example,
absolutely.
Because it is all about our customer. You know what? Your calling card is, how do you do your business? What do people know about you? What do they believe about you? Can they trust you? Can they call you and ask you for information? And I know that they can do all that, because I'm not just their agent. I'm a resource to them. And believe it or not, sometimes it's not just real estate. Sometimes it's about a doctor that I know, or a roofer that I know, or electrician, like so many, different resources that I bring to the table.
Yeah.
And, I'm ready to answer their questions. And sometimes it's not about making money, it's just helping them. But in the long run, remember, when the time gets ready, they're going to call you or refer you to other people. So yeah, it's all about, like I said, what are people saying about you?
Yeah.
It stands the test of time.
Yes.
Yeah. It's evergreen. It actually leads perfectly into the thought that I had last night when I was thinking about this interview. I remember, and this is another testament to you, I remember being at a private event for real estate, and the speaker was Tony Robbins.
Oh my God, I love Tony.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at this event, like, he could not stop talking about you. Like, I think the entire speech was about you to a certain degree. And I remember there consuming all this, and I was just listening. I'm like, at the time I was living in Claremont, right? And I remember, like, I know Marty, I see Marty all the time. Like, wow, like, there's a legend, like, literally in my backyard. And so my takeaway from what he had shared was that you had applied yourself long ago to self-development.
Yes.
Right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I want to tell you about Tony Robbins. So Tony had gone to school in Glendora, and I knew a girl that dated him, and she told me, yeah, he took me on a date It was called Adventures in Achievement. They were actually going to a seminar, and I think that was a Jim Rohn seminar. She goes, and the car broke down. So Tony was doing the same thing way back then.
Yeah.
And then I went in 1990 as Tony's guest to his Mastery University. And I really, at that time, didn't know a lot about him. And I was like, oh my God, there's 1,200 people here from all over the world. And we were in Cancun. And people had come from Taiwan who didn't even speak English. And I'm thinking, I'm going to listen to every word this man has to say, because obviously he's got something important to deliver here. And one thing about him, a lot of people can say the same message that Tony can, but Tony knows how to deliver the message. And let me tell you, that 1990 was life-changing for me and my family. My husband went with me, but he didn't go to the seminar. I would go, but he saw us do the fire walk. He saw us do the pole climb. And it was like so amazing. And then after that, I cannot even tell you how many Tony seminars, and so have both of my kids. So, when you look for a leader like that to learn from, that's what you need to do. I mean, if you ever have an opportunity to go to one of Tony's events, do not miss it. It will be life-changing.
Yeah.
It will.
How long did you mentor with Tony?
Well, I've been since 1990. I've been following him. Yes,
Wow.
yes, and took all my team, took my whole family and other people actually who have worked for me, because you have to find those leaders who are going to guide you and help you, because you can't be around negative people. One of my friends just called me day before yesterday about her situation and one of her lenders, and it was just so negative. I thought, you know what? You don't need it. Just get away. Wake up every day and just look for people who are going to build you up, who have good things to say, who are going to, in other words, help you take that step up to climb the ladder. Because we have to climb the ladder, but we have to do it with the right people. And trust me, I have been a stepping stone to many people's ladder, and I'm proud of that, and I take that very seriously.
Yeah.
Because you know what, who we are, because people look up to us, is very important. We must be a good example.
1,000%.
Yes, 1,000%.
Man, to be such an early adopter into your own self-leadership. I mean, it's an unfair advantage. I'm gonna tell you that right now, Marty. Like, to have been in the coaching and mentorship of like Tony for such a prolonged period.
But it started at home with my dad.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so our dad was very, very positive. He goes, "You must improve on yourself and tell me who your friends are. I'm going to tell you who you are," which Tony talks about all the time. So when I met Tony, I'm thinking, this is my dad on steroids. So it was so awesome. So remember, when you start building your team, you start your team at home. Your team starts with your family, your husband, your kids. Because I will tell you one thing, I work with my kids, and they have always been so awesome. I've never had any problems, no problems at school, no drug problems. Because when you start having problems, it takes away from right here, from your thoughts, from focusing on your clients. So instead, my husband would tell my kids, he'd say, don't put things in mom's head that don't belong there. We need to help mom focus on business. So I built my team at home first. So you take your team from home, and then you bring it to the office, and then you start building your team there, and all your ancillary services, and then the people who you surround yourself. Who are you learning from? Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, whoever it may be. Because I respect both of those men.
Right.
Yeah, we have followed Mike, and now we're doing Tom, and they're like I said, they're two amazing people to learn from in the real estate industry. It's because for them, it's all about their customer, their agents.
Right.
It is.
Right.
Wow, what a golden nugget. So creating order, like in your own household,
first.
first. No distractions.
Uh-huh.
Right. Because amazing that you share that, because I was reading a book this morning that said distractions will pull 90% of entrepreneurs off the right track.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Distractions.
Yeah.
And here's the legendary Marty sharing the same wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, and it's finding the right partner. Sometimes you don't find it the first time. It might take
Yeah.
another time to find the right man or woman. But you need to find them, because they have to be your backbone, your support, and you have to support each other.
Wow.
And my husband, I've been married to Ed for 53 years, and he is still my best cheerleader. So yeah.
53 years.
53 years. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is, and that's just because you know what, and you know what, I'd have to thank Tony for that too, because in 1990 when I went to a seminar, I was kind of full of myself. I thought it was, I thought I was hot, I thought I was hot stuff, right? And I remember I was focusing more on what was wrong with my husband instead of what was right with him. And when I left that seminar, I learned to focus on what was right about him, not what was wrong with him. And I feel like that made my marriage stronger and probably saved my marriage. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you were killing all these birds with one stone. Yeah, you were getting counseling and
Yeah, don't get too full of yourself.
Yeah, that's a big one.
yeah, the ego will take you down quick.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. How have you been able to manage that? Like when we find success at times, there is moments when we find ourselves elevating, right, in our growth.
Yes.
Right? And how do you find like that check and balance internally for yourself?
I think, like I said, I felt like I was getting too full of myself. And even sometimes, even now, it's like, wait a minute, Marty, that's a brand new agent. You need to take your time with them. Like an agent the other day wrote an offer, and I said, look, you need to correct your offer. I go, this has a septic tank. You don't ask for a septic inspection. You ask for a septic certification. I go, and only a C-42 licensed contractor can do that for you. I go, I want to teach you. You're brand new. So I'm saying, you just take little nuggets here and little nuggets there. And, people, remember that.
Yeah.
And then you teach your team the same thing.
Right.
So I don't know. For me, it's, it's raising the standard of the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly you've done that to a very high degree. And I'd like to pivot a little bit and speak about the industry.
Yes.
Because I've been waiting to ask you this question.
Okay.
So I've been talking with like a bunch of industry leaders, right? And the resonating thing that I hear is currently in the market, we're experiencing, some call it a recession in real estate. Some are saying it's the worst market since 1995. However, I want to get your input on what you think the state of the market is as it relates to real estate and how you do not or do agree with those type of opinions.
As you can see, I've never agreed with any of those opinions. Okay. I've been a top producer in every market. All these markets going up and down, but you know what? I've been consistent. And, I've had to pivot. When 2007, when the market went down, it's like, holy smokes, what are we going to do? I had to retrain myself and my whole office how to do short sales, go to bank repos. So, you pivot and you learn. Now, I always tell people, what the market is doing is none of my business. My job is to sell real estate and put buyers and sellers together. That's my job, my only job. So the markets will come and go, but Marty will still be here.
Yes.
Yes. So you talked about like pivoting, like you noticed something just isn't normal or right or average or whatever it is that you're experiencing, but you were quick to pivot and learn something new.
Right.
One thing that I notice is that sometimes agents stay down they get knocked down, they stay on the ground too long.
Right.
They don't get back up fast enough. Do you see that?
Yes. Well, for me, I had actually left an office in 1989, and what happened there was not in alignment with my morals, my values, and my customers' concern. And so I told my husband, it's going to cost me $125,000 to leave. My husband said? He goes, leave. Okay? Because it wasn't about the money. It was about us, integrity, how we do our business, and taking care of our clients. So I left. And then we were going on vacation. So here I take a vacation, and I'm thinking, oh my God, so what I did on vacation, I was just planning how was I going to, regroup and start over. And I did that. I started over. And then in 2007, again, we had to start over because we had to retrain. So, I'm always going to find a way. And even now, it's a whole nother market. And, I'm going to find my way through this one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't, like I said,
it doesn't phase you.
Markets don't matter.
Yeah.
We matter.
Right.
And how we handle it and how we do it and how we learn. In fact, I feel like I can't learn enough. I'm trying to listen to so many different Zooms and podcasts until I embed this new system into my head that is just,
right.
Second nature.
So the new system, are you referring to like the post-NAR, everything that we're dealing with right now?
Everything that we're dealing with right now.
Right.
But for me, really, with my appointments, I pretty much tell my seller, nothing's really changed. I just can't post what I'm going to pay the buyer's agent is really all it is. I go, and the buyers have always paid their own commission, because when they pay your price, they've already paid the price for the commission that's being paid to the buyer's agent. So nothing has really changed. And I got to share this story because this is a good one.
Please.
So I have a man that I met. He's high up there with this company, and he is moving to Tennessee. So 4 months ago, I meet him, and he tells me he's working with this agent, and the agent says, the buyer's agent says, I want you to pay my commission. He tells me this, and he goes, hell no, I'm a buyer. I'm not paying her commission, right?
Right.
Okay, and it gets better. So 4 months later, he is moving to Tennessee, and he listed his house with another agent. So he calls me, goes, I think I made a mistake. I think I listed with the wrong person. I don't know how to get out of this. And I said, why? He goes, I don't think he understands your new law or rules that are coming on the 17th of August. And it was like a week before. And I said, well, what did you do? He goes, well, I got an offer, and I don't think I should have lost that buyer. And I said, well, what did you do? He goes, he told me to offer the agent this very tiny commission, right? And I said, well, maybe that tiny commission didn't motivate him enough, and he probably had other properties and that he was showing and selling, and maybe they went another direction. I said, you know what? I go, they won't let you out. I go, look, bite the bullet, pay the buyer's commission. I said, and get your family to Tennessee. So he called me about a week and a half ago, and he said, okay, Marty, I did what you said. We called the agent. They were still available, except you know what? What happened was they offered me $840, and now they would only pay $825. And I just said, okay. So he goes, I lost $15,000, and I still paid the commission. I go, see? I said, because he didn't know how to negotiate for you. It cost you $15,000. That's like the best story ever, to give a good example of how to handle this new situation.
Yeah.
Because nothing's changed.
Right.
We're still going to pay the buyer's agent in probably 90% of the cases.
Yeah.
And the seller will get it in his price like he always has. So the only thing is, I tell him we can't advertise that in the MLS. I can put it on Facebook. I can put it on Instagram. I can put it in the lockbox. I can put it anywhere. I just can't put it on the MLS.
Yeah.
So remember, this is going to really be important that we have good, strong listing agents.
Mm-hmm.
Listing agents are going to be the key to, help the entire industry.
Right.
Yeah, I expected you to say that because you are like one of the strongest listing agents because you control the market by creating your own inventory, right?
And and my clients are still getting their, a lot of them, are getting their prices over the asking price. So it's nothing's changing in my world right now, really.
Yeah.
Other than I can't put it in the MLS.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
On the buyer side, in your representation, have you had to make any changes or maneuvering there?
well, you do because you've got to make your presentation, and you've got to depending on which contract they're going to sign for you, and then you got to show them your value.
Yeah.
I mean, I work, my buyer's agents on my team work more with the buyers than I do, but I work with them.
Right.
And then I just sold actually two buyers, and one of them we paid $52,000 over asking. I'm representing the buyer. I said, you want this house? And there's only one street. I go, you know what? We got to go for it.
Right.
I go, tell me what's the most you'll pay for it. And if anybody pays more, they can have it. So this was our price. I called the agent. He goes, I'm really sorry. I wish your buyer could have gone up more. I thought, I really came in like super strong. Next thing I know, I get the counter offer. I get the deal. So I think maybe he was just playing with me. I don't know. But, here I'm representing the buyer, and he's still paying more because he wants that house. And then I just sold another one, and I'm thinking, thank God I'm the agent. I've done so many inspections. The house had so many problems and flooding, and I'm thinking, how many agents, that's the value I bring to the table, is that I'm not afraid to lose a deal because there's something wrong with the house. I'm going to find out everything that's wrong with it for you so that you don't have to deal with those problems later. And we're going to fix them now, not after the fact. Because I'm not afraid to inspect every ounce of that house.
Right. No, absolutely.
And that's the value that we bring to the table, and to protect them in every single way.
Yeah, like you were sharing
Earlier, I totally got the vision of you jumping over a fence and wearing a hard hat. I can see you putting in work.
Okay, so in 1989, the market was hot, going up towards 89. And I remember I went to go show a house, and people were stealing keys out of the lock boxes so that you couldn't show them. Okay, so I go to this house, and I'm thinking, I know these people. Her kids go to St. Dorothy's with my kids. I go, I'm going to climb through the window to show this house. I'm not leaving without showing it. So I actually climbed, and I had a dress. I climbed through the window to show the house, right? And I ended up selling them that house. And then yesterday, I was just telling Joseph, I went to East LA because I just sold 2 units in East LA, and it's a long ways from my office. And I was getting my hair cut in Montebello. So I go, I'm going to go pick up the boxes. I called everybody. I get there. The gates are locked, and they're wrought iron gates, right? So you can't like climb on them. But where the gates met, they had those 2 posts, and there was a post that had a little thing sticking out. So I jumped over the fence. I'm thinking, who does that at 73 years old? But that's because I'm in shape. I work out too. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because you want to have this much energy. You've got to take care of your mind, your body, everything about you. Because for me, I work out, and I know they tell me I'm probably too skinny now, but I feel like when I gain weight, it makes me sluggish and tired. I don't want to be sluggish and tired. No. I don't want to lose stay fit. I don't want to lose my energy, because when you are selling, believe it or not, you'd be amazed how much energy you expend. And when you're speaking, like Tony talks about, you're speaking from your gut. Because when I'm talking, I know that I'm expending so much energy, from my whole entire body. Mm-hmm. And I went to, my husband had to go get an MRI and a CT scan a couple of days ago. 7:15 in the morning, I get there, and there's this girl behind the counter, and she's like so happy. It's like, oh my God, 7:15 in the morning. And I start talking to her. She's got twins that are 6 months old. I go, oh my God, they are so lucky to have you. I go, 7:15, you made me feel so good to be here at 7:15 in the morning. Yeah. And she was like so excited about her job and wanted to help me and make sure I had everything. It's like, that's who we all have to be for our clients. When you go to the grocery store, or you go to go shopping, is that salesperson making you feel like that and making you want to come back? Because remember, a lot of the restaurants that we go to, right? It's, the food is good, but the servers are better. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. And they make you feel like $1 million.
Yeah, they do. And it makes that food taste a lot better than what it really is, right?
And it does. And it makes you feel special when you go in, they make over you. So
the human experience is so beautiful.
Yes.
I did want to go back to the previous question, because I think people would be interested in knowing, especially in the state of where real estate is at now, like, how do you express your value now, right? Like, people that don't know Marty Rodriguez, 46 years, you're meeting new clientele. How do you express your value, especially as it relates to the current market, where in buyer consultations, that conversation has to be had, that, compensation for us as agents may be required or will be required. So how do you express that value? Do you use your Google or using online platforms, technology? What does that look like for you?
And I just think that, the buyer presentation is probably more important now than ever. So my buyer's agents are doing that, meeting with them, going down the list of everything they're going to do for them, what to look for, talk about the representation. Mm-hmm. So, and try to get in front of them if you can, or Zoom with them, whatever it takes, so that they can see your face and they can, see your expressions. I think that's important.
Yeah.
1,000%. Because, when you get them on the phone, although, remember, I'm experienced and I have a lot of experience, so it's easier for me to, pull my buyer in and understand that I am a wealth of information. I have so much to share with them. So it's easier for me to get them. But when you're newer, you don't have that. So you have to create that. And not only that, if you're brand new, you immerse yourself in this business. Learn everything about it. Here's real estate, okay? Here's building, construction material, trust, conservatorships, anything that surrounds real estate. You better try to start learning so that you can build your circle, and that circle gets bigger and bigger. And pretty soon, when you're communicating with your client, it's easier for you to bring them into, and they're going to understand, man, this person knows everything about real estate. I have people call me, so-and-so told me to call you. I don't even know who so-and-so is, but okay. But that's what they know and believe about me, that Marty will have the answers. So you want to be that person, and you're going to start a little bit at a time. And if you're brand new, try to get on a great team, because being on a great team will get you there quicker, faster, because they're going to help you and teach you. Because that's what you do for your team,
Yeah, absolutely.
You're all about, teaching so that they are, the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we do at our office. I don't want my people to make mistakes. I want to, help them, because, in 46 years, we already made all the mistakes. We don't want to make them twice.
I know. And
Yeah.
you're like a
Master problem solver, right? And they literally
Yeah.
hire us for that.
Yes. Because you do it twice. My dad used to say, do it again, dum-dum. That was my dad's line.
classic.
Yeah.
Classic. With the industry as where it's at, Marty, share with us a little bit, right? You've been at Century 21 how long?
Well, I started there. So I worked in a San Dimas office, and then I went to work at a Glendora office, and then I opened my own office, and now we have merged with Century 21 Masters.
Congrats.
And, the Randy Thompson is awesome. We love him and his sons, and they have like 12 offices. They have so many resources and so many things, to help us so that we can just focus on selling. I just want to sell real estate. My team just wants to sell real estate.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to focus on.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Genius.
It
Yeah.
is.
Staying in that, like, great agents will thrive and prosper anywhere is my theory. And there's a lot of different models out there. And that's one thing that, again, I was very intrigued to ask you about. Like, you've seen the different like models come in, and they're very inclusive to a certain amount of time, right? And you're seeing like virtual models come in line. I feel like I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What are your thoughts? Do you think virtual real estate has a place to stay? Or do you think traditional real estate will always have its platform to thrive? Or is there room for everybody to exist?
You know what? I think there's room for everybody. What works for me doesn't work for you. What works for you doesn't work for me. So, you just have to find what works for you, and, and immerse yourself in it. Make it work. Learn from it.
Yeah. Immersement. Master your craft.
Master your craft, because so many people, they say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, but they don't do it. God, what was the thing I just read? Something about when you're working and you want to do something, you do it a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time, because it makes it easier and easier. The hard part is being consistent and doing it every day. Okay, and that's what most people don't do.
Right.
But like, you have so much to offer. The Thompsons have so much to offer, but if we don't take advantage of what they have, your people don't take advantage, what good is it, to them?
Right.
Right.
So,
yeah, providing the micro opportunities for people to build upon, right?
right.
Yeah, such a great point for those of you that are just starting in real estate. Yeah, so important.
I mean, every day I feel like I'm studying my hot sheet every day. So when people call up, I know what's for sale in the area. I know what's going on. What's being reduced, what's being sold. How well do you know your market? Pick your markets where you're going to like really focus on. You will work, beyond that, but stay focused on those, so that when you're out and about, you're meeting friends and they talk about something, it's like, man, she knows everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's me.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm still studying all day long. All day, I got my hot sheet set up, so every day, several times a day, I'm studying that hot sheet.
Yeah. So smart.
Even after 46 years.
Yeah.
Because
some of them probably don't
Don't even know what hot sheets are. You're schooling like 80%
yeah.
of these guys right now. Yeah.
I know, and I'm still doing it. After 46 years, that's what they talk about. Being consistent, and I've been a great salesperson since I was 6 years old. I was the best Christmas card seller. I was the best candy seller. I could outsell any kids in school since I was 6 years old. So, I think I just took that. And growing up, I know I was annoying. I asked a lot of questions. I was, I probably had ADD. See, I still have it. And so I think, you grow up with it. Don't let anybody take it away from you if you have it. And if you don't, build it, work it, make it happen.
That's so powerful. I love that. Yeah. I love that. I really want to conclude this podcast and this interview with, I'm the father of 3 daughters. I have an amazing wife. I'm around amazing women, right? And one thing that I've noticed is that whether it's men or women, there's powerhouses that exist regardless of our gender.
Right.
But you've clearly created such a powerful example for women, for the Latino community. Could you share with us a little bit about how that makes you feel, your impact? I really want to know, how does Marty feel about the lane that she's created and opened doors for those that are present today and those who are yet to come? It's a lot about your legacy.
Yeah, and my mom probably started that because her not being treated as fairly growing up in a Mexican family, she made sure that the girls in our family were treated the same as the boys with the same schooling and education. So it started there. And then, and I remember growing up, my mom would say, Marta no se deja. That means Marty is like going to fight you and she's not going to let you get away with anything. And, I feel like I've done that my whole life. And I'm glad that I can empower other women and the girls who will work with me. They know Marty says, no does not mean no. Okay. And we have to learn that it does not mean no. We find a way to get things done. And, and just empowering other women, maybe we're not as physically strong as a man, but let me tell you right here, yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, we are. And I think that I overcame that a long time ago because when I started in real estate, it was a man's world.
Wow.
Remember, 46 years ago, real estate was a man's world. So, just me coming into that world, it was not easy, even at that time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, so empowering women, we are just as equally up here as the men are. Maybe we're not right here, but, but we are there.
I love that. So pioneer in the industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it started for us, with my mom who didn't make sure we were not suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when I remember going to Bishop Amon High School and, I was a freshman and one of the girls said, Marty, you should go out for cheerleader. Well, that was the last thing on our mind. We couldn't even afford that, right? So she goes, you're even kind of cute. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I didn't even know I was kind of cute, And so then the next year, my younger sister went for cheerleader and I knew that she won and they said she lost. And I said, no. So I talked to Sister Magdala. Sister Magdala, I go, those girls cheated. So they counted the votes and they cheated. Okay? Porque Marta no se deja.
Right.
So they had 5 cheerleaders instead of 4 that year. So I changed her high school experience. And you know how many times I've done that? One of my girls that works for me was buying a condo in the short sale market. So I'm driving and I go, how's it going? She goes, oh, I canceled. She goes, they said I didn't qualify. I go, what do you mean you didn't qualify? I go, no, I'm calling Pat Sepulveda right now. I got on the phone and I called Pat. And anyway, they got back into escrow. Pat put the package together. She closed that escrow. So he ended up buying that condo for $190,000 in the short sale market, which is now worth about $650,000.
Wow.
So, but you see, because no does not mean no. And you know how many times I've had, and they're actually, I represent sellers, so a lot of them are not even my buyers. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, give me the package. Let me take it to another lender that I know, and let me put this together for you. And sometimes they resist me. I'm thinking, no, let me give you a paycheck. Give me the file, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and we get it done for them because no does not mean no. I will, I will beat a dead horse to life if I have to. And that's, and that's a different, and that's what us as women have to show the world, I think, and I think we've already shown the world that's who we are and that's what we're capable of doing.
Yeah.
Because it's not a man's world anymore. It is a people's world.
Right.
Yeah, and you're such a perfect testimony.
Yay to the people.
We're bringing it back.
Bring it back. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And my girl, Clayton and Clark.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark's getting a lot of shout outs here, guys.
Yeah, she is. You guys follow her.
Yeah.
She is pretty amazing. She's changing here's a woman changing the face of the WNBA. So, and I feel like, I changed a lot, in the real estate industry in my little corner of the world, but she's changing it all over the world. So,
equally impactful.
Yes.
Equally impactful.
Yep.
Well, Marty, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been such an honor. Before we got this started, I said, I feel like Kobe with Michael Jordan. I'm like, I'm in the presence of a legend and everything that you've contributed to this industry and us as human beings. Like,
thank you.
That's one thing that I take away is that what you're sharing is that everybody can have an impact on another person.
That's right.
Right.
And we have to help each other, and we need to be the stepping stone to, not just the immediate people, but there's a lot of other people who are looking to us, to help them get to that next stepping stone. Who are you going to help next? And I thank God that hopefully today I help someone because, my mission statement is to bring happiness to myself and others, to be the best example I can be so I can inspire and change lives and bring out the best in the people I touch. And you know what? I put that mission statement together a long time ago when I went to Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, my favorite seminar. Oh my God. And you know what? I try to live by that statement, and I hope I helped somebody today. Thank you so much.
You certainly did. Amen to that. All right, team. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on Industry Leaders of Real Estate. We sat down with Marty Rodriguez for this exclusive conversation. I'm going to invite you guys back to the third series of this podcast. You guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you on the flip side.